Welcome to the Sensual Canvas, a soft landing space where creativity flows and presence becomes art. This season, I'm joined by creators, feelers, and soulful storytellers, each exploring the richness of self expression and sensual living. So take a deep breath in, settle in, and let's begin. I'm joined today on the Sensual Canvas podcast with Dawn Mitschele. Thank you so much for joining me.
I'm so happy to be here today. Thank you.
So, you're a new addition to my life. We haven't really known each other that long, but since you came into the women's space, I felt like there's just something magnetic about your energy. And it's very subtle, but it's so beautiful how you came in, you introduced yourself, and you just right off the bat, you're like, I do music and I write lyrics and all these things. And I'm like, that fascinates me because I have like zero music abilities when it comes to playing an instrument. I'll sometimes sing for family, but I just found that so fascinating about you. So I'm really excited to be touching on those things today. Um, but before we begin, I really want to know, like, how do you find like peace, solace, calmness in this like very busy like day and age?
I am still working on that. And really, I feel right now I'm at a point in my life where there's been a really big culmination of modern day living being too much. And I'm really like, I've gotten that the tools are so necessary and needed, but I'm like getting it on like a whole deeper level. What it's been so far for me, finding peace is just trying to be present in little moments throughout the day. I am not a very good meditator. So for me, like meditating is really uncomfortable. I'd honestly rather pray or um, even just stretching and yoga. Those kinds of things can calm me down. I also do enjoy tapping. That's been, EFT tapping has been something that I have been going to help me find that calm and that space. And one of the things that I've really noticed and I've acted upon recently is putting too much on my plate and actively taking things off my plate and creating that space. I have to create it for myself. And because it's not just going to happen, because modern day living will fill up your calendar and your schedule. And, you know, I had to learn how to say no to things and then also ask for help.
It's huge to firstly realize like, okay, I do need help, and then ask for it is like so crucial for like this day and age, because like you said, like you can get wrapped up and your schedule fills so quickly and you're like, where did the day go? So yes, I can totally relate. And so from that, like, I also know that you are raising a young woman. And so tell me about that. What is that like, seeing like the world through her eyes, like right now?
Yeah, I mean, she's absolutely incredible. She's so emotionally intelligent and she can just distill things down in the way only a child can. I feel like, where she just cuts through the noise and yeah, I realize what a huge responsibility it is to not just step into my power for myself, but for her as well, to be a model for her. And it has been a journey. I mean, I've gone through a lot since she was born, a lot of transition and change, and yeah, just a lot. And I'm finding more and more my own center. And as she gets older, we can talk more. She remembers tools. She the things that I say do stick, the good things. It's the bad things too. But it is a huge responsibility. And she really inspires me to absolutely be better. I mean, you're like, I feel just having a child, I had absolutely no idea how hard it was going to be on so many levels. And she reminds me to how to have fun, like to have fun, because I'm like, can be so serious and like super mom mode.
Mm.
And she's just like, da 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 da. She's an Aquarius. She's like air sign floating around, and I'm a Taurus, and I'm like super just grounded, like, and like bedtime routine and morning routine, and and she's just like from A to C to D to F, and I'm like A to B, girl, A to B. She's like, what? So we have to find a middle ground because we are really different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'll just say one more thing is that I have this vision. It's probably about, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years out. I think maybe 2 to 3. But I do want to start going deeper into learning more self-regulation techniques,
Mm.
nervous system regulation, and continue with the inner child healing, because my bigger vision is I really, really, really want to bring some type of program to youth, like preteens and teens. Like, I know that's in my future, and I'm not there yet, and I definitely want to have her be a part of that as well. I can see
Mm.
her eventually like taking leadership roles and whatever that looks like. So yeah, she's inspired me in a lot of ways.
How beautiful to see that, like, that potential in your daughter already so young, that you can already envision that type of guidance that she has within her, like, for others.
Yeah,
So
she's a leader. She is hands down a leader. So I'm
I
like, if she was going to be in my classroom, like she'd need some type of leadership role within that and not just be the student.
yeah.
I know her very well. So I
Wow.
hope we got those wheels turning. Yeah.
I love that. And who knows, she could be doing that already with friends right now, and you don't even see that part of her. I know that, like, a huge part of me, like, growing up, like, was hidden from family. I feel like sometimes I was a certain way with my family, and then with my friends I was a completely different way. And so it was almost like I was more mature around friends.
Mm.
So yeah, I think that's so interesting, and how beautiful that she'll grow into this, person of your making and her own making. So how exciting. I don't have kids myself, but I'm always observing, like, the women and the individuals around me that have children and are raising them in this day and age. It's just like, it's fascinating. And I applaud all of you. It's
It's multifaceted. Yes.
yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
So you spoke a little bit about, like, helping children, but I know that you've also mentioned, like, that you want to help perimenopausal women, right? In
Yeah.
health.
Mhm.
So what does that look like exactly?
Yeah, so I am a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner. It's a mouthful, but essentially, I work with women to help them optimize their health. So there is just so much information out there that I feel like is either not getting to perimenopausal women,
Mm,
or they're inundated by it on social media and they just don't know how to put it all together.
yeah.
And I am of that age. I've been in perimenopause for probably about 5 years. And I've had my own journey where I was at the end of my rope, like every cycle, the PMS was getting so bad. I'm like, I need to make a change here. This is terrible. I don't even recognize myself. I'm suffering. And I went to a naturopath, and she had me run it's called a Dutch test. It's a dried urine analysis, and it checks your hormonal metabolites. Um, and there's just so much I've learned about how a lot of the hormone issues you can have are directly related to your liver. It's
Mhm.
directly related to certain genetics. There's things that you can do to cleanse, to support. And it's like actually really simple.
Mhm.
You don't know unless you test, and you don't know unless you find someone who can provide this information for you. And then I started getting better and better and better and better. And then I started working with someone on my own, like gut healing. She was a practitioner, and going through that with her really motivated me to want to also become a practitioner, because I saw how valuable this is, and I really want to bring it to women. And I just feel like women's health is like finally starting to get more recognition. I mean, women have higher rates of Alzheimer's and osteoporosis, like all of this, and hormones nourish us, and we need them. And women don't know, should I go on HRT? Should I not go on HRT? It's so individual. No one can tell you yes or no. And please do not, anyone listening, don't just fill out something online, a questionnaire, and then have them send them to you in the mail, because that is not personalized, and that can really, it could be a disservice to you. So it's an important time. It can be a very transformational time in life. I mean, wow, the opportunities when you're sitting back, looking back on 40, 50 years of your life. I mean, I feel like it's an opportunity to really be such a badass.
Mm.
But you need the support, and women don't know what to do. So I'm just excited to bring it to them. So want to bring it to the moms, and then eventually, bring it to the daughters and the next generation, of tools for them, tools for living for the children.
Wow. I already know, like, off the top of my head, how many women in my life like are going through that and are looking left and right and up and down, and they're like, I cannot find like someone to help me through this.
Mhm.
And they feel so alone, like they're unsupported, they're feeling unloved by, the medical industry and their doctors, and they're like, they don't understand me, like. And so my mom in particular, these past several years, I don't think I've ever discussed this, but she's had just the worst time like in her perimenopause, and it's just been painful, and she's scared because it's overwhelming. It's a time in her life that, she doesn't really have anyone to talk to about. So that work is going to be so beneficial to so many people, so many countless women. So I really believe it's,
To be held, and yeah.
yeah. So this this whole thing about like looking back on 40, 50 years, like when you're looking back on this time and you're taking this just like a moment, do you ever like find yourself like reflecting on like your sensuality and how it's like evolved into like this just, I don't know, just different essence?
Right, I know. I love it because I was listening to a bit of your podcast, obviously, before coming on here, and just like was thinking about sensuality, and that it's not something that I think about often. And so it was really nice for me to feel into that and be like, what does sensuality mean to me? Like it means like slow and
Mm.
flow, and openness, closeness, obviously like the senses,
Mhm.
um, and feeling like in my body and in my power.
Yeah.
And I am more in my power and in my body today than I have been for most of my life. And I know that it's only going to get better. I'm only going to go, just even more embodied. I mean, I've been peeling off layers and layers and really learning how to hold my child while being a strong woman.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for me personally, like I've heard like a lot of this like dialogue around like sex and sensuality, and like it's only for like younger, beautiful, like type of individuals. But I'm seeing how much more in tune with my sensuality I am now as like a woman in my 30s versus like when I was in my 20s. So it's just, and I only imagine it gets better because of like the things that like I've heard from women who are older than me. They're like, yeah, it does get better. Like, and like that you were describing that like uninhibited nature that you come into, like no fucks given. You're like, I'm here. I'm showing up for how I am in my wholeness now. So I just think that's so beautiful. And so like when you create music,
Mhm.
do you feel like you kind of take on like some sort of like sensual like essence? Like where does that come from when you create music?
It comes from just space and being in the right space. It comes from like life circumstances, me needing to just get something out, and it just needs to be expressed or processed. I need to make sense of it in some way. And yeah, a lot of times, like I can just kind of hear some things in my head, and the process is so different. I've written songs in so many different ways. Um, I feel there's a lot of sensuality in playing music, like just when I'm
Mm.
performing. So performing and the way that, I'm singing into the microphone, and like just my voice has and actually, have I been told that I have a sensual voice? I don't know, maybe not sensual, but um it's got a sensual quality, I feel. And yeah, the way that I feel like I move with my instrument. I mean, I play guitar, and the way that I sing and how I just like use my mouth and, like my breath and feeling my belly. I mean, there's definitely like an embodiment there that's freeing and flowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite way to like write music? Is there like a place that you go to get like inspired? Is there, I don't know, like is there something you do to kind of settle into that space?
Yeah, well, I've been writing on and off now for the past few years, ever since my daughter was born. I used to write a ton more. And so now I'm going through a big transition in my life, and I'm finding myself writing more music. And so I'm like, oh, wow, this feels a little like I'm sort of new to this again. I wrote lyrics in my bed with my little phone light in my journal, like, a week or two ago, just like it just was coming. And I'm like, okay, 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 like just writing it down. Um, and then I've got this room where I've got all my, instruments, and I'll usually just sit on the couch in there, and like I just play, and I will play my guitar, and I'll just like kind of riff, like just see what's coming through. So a lot of times, like I remember I wrote a song when I was like folding laundry, and I all of a sudden I was like, oh, I just like this idea came out of nowhere. It's really turning off like your left brain and just being open and like allowing things to come through.
You're like this signal to the universe, like I'm
Yeah,
open, I'm ready to receive it.
channel is yes, let's
Yeah.
turn on this channel. And Mhm.
Not the one like I hate folding clothes. It's like, this could be fun. And then it's just like whoosh, just comes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't yeah, I think when you're just doing something kind of monotonous and it lets your mind sort of daydream, or you're just, you know. Mhm.
I I found myself in one of those moments actually yesterday where I just felt my brain completely like turn off. And it had been like so long since I felt my brain like not needing to worry about like a checklist or anything. And I found myself just like I was on the balcony and I was just kind of laying my head and I looked up, I'm like, what am I doing? I'm just kind of like spacing out and not thinking of anything, but just like being in the moment. Like the way I used to do like as a kid. I was like, Oh, oh, that was really nice.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, just like
Yeah.
allowing yourself to be just present in the moment or just drift off somewhere and
Yeah.
mhm.
I actually growing up, I think I was like in second grade when the teacher goes and like has the parent teacher conference. I remember my mom came out and she said, "Your teacher says you daydream a lot." And I said, "Oh, really?" Because I don't even realize I'm daydreaming. But I just remember being such a happy like kid in my own creative mind. And then, you know, society takes their toll and kind of says, no, 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 you can't do that. And so I think that slowly, like you start to like move away from the things that just naturally bring you that like calmness, that peace, that
Mhm.
I don't know, just that like flow. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, definitely. We get so conditioned
Yeah.
by modern day world and we're just there's not enough space, just time and space
Mm.
to just
Yeah.
be, you know? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I agree. So this music
Mhm.
that you create, would you call it creativity?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you believe that you are creative through your voice, your writing, your instrument playing, like all these things.
Yeah. Mhm.
Do you believe that it is like a form of your self-expression?
Definitely. Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Tell
Mhm.
me, tell me about this, like this journey when you first like discovered that you love to create music.
Yeah. So I always just loved singing ever since I was little, and we would put on plays in my basement, like my sister and I, or my cousins. But I was always the ringleader, and it's so funny because I didn't remember it that way until I was watching some old videos, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was the one in charge. I didn't remember it that way. And I was very, very self-expressed when I was younger. And then I
Mm.
hit 11 years old and I thought I had this perfect life with the perfect house and the parents and there's 3 kids and vacations and all that. And I was going to like a private school and it was right before my 6th grade year and my parents sat us down and said we're getting a divorce. And then from that experience to, which was like rug being pulled out, total shock, very scared. And there was just a lot more dysfunction that I had no idea about that then came to the surface. So now all of a sudden, I didn't really have parents because they were so focused on themselves and what they were going through. We had to sell our beautiful home, and my mom tried to keep us in the town, and she could only afford like a very small house. And I ended up living in the basement. And then I went to this new school because we couldn't go to private school anymore. And I got bullied and made fun of. And I had this one friend who I friends with since kindergarten, and she and I would write music together, play music.
Mm.
Uh, Very creative and expressive girl. And so I had a crush on this kid at school. And so she
Mm.
wrote me a song about him. And I, in my full self expression, sang it on the playground to my friends. And then they went and told the kid. And then they called me after school and were like, can you sing that song? And then he was like on the other line. And like, they're just all laughing and making fun of me. And all kinds of things like that. The girls were bullies, the boys were awful. So I turned into a total shut down, introverted version of myself. Um, I wanted to do the like high school musicals and I didn't do them. My freshman year, they were like, wow, I tried out and they were like, wow, like, where did you learn to sing? And I was like, I don't know, I just sang, and they wanted to give me, like, a good role, but my sister also tried out for the play, and she only got, like, a dancer role or something like that, and I was too afraid to shine and take that role, and I turned it down. I didn't even do the play. I remember the theater director coming up and being like, why are you not doing this? What, like, is there anything I can do to change your mind? And I was like, no, like, I just shut it down. It's been such a journey for me. Like music, my brother taught me how to play guitar. I was around 16 years old. And I started, writing poetry and hanging out in coffee shops and like doing all that, and then I went to school in New York City and like, oh my gosh, that was just so inspiring. What a place to be young and in college and writing music from, rooftops at sunrise and all that stuff. Um, and yeah, just like slowly, it was like me, it's been me trying to come back to myself for like decades now. And music is definitely, something that at first I was so terrified. I remember the first open mic I did after I'm like, okay, I'm going to start like playing music. It was just stage fright. I was nauseous. I couldn't feel my fingers. Like it took me years to be able to actually perform in front of people and to be seen. And even still, even today, when I perform out, sometimes like I'm like still have that, it still comes up for me. So it's like my new era where I'm just not going to be in that space anymore, So it's been a huge healing journey.
Mm.
And it's been a way for me to be heard and seen in like a safe way.
Yeah.
I'm on stage and like I'm in the spotlight, so I don't have to really like, I don't know, like I don't know. It's just there's something about the safety of like being on stage performing for someone that I can be seen and heard. But it's I don't know, and I think that's probably where I have room to grow is like that bringing in more vulnerability in my performance.
Mhm.
And yeah.
Yeah, the way it sounds though is that like it means so much to you that that is also what you're experiencing. It's like these jitters, like this sweaty palms. It's like your body telling you like we want this, like we want to experience this. It's been so long, and it's like yes, 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 and then it's like ooh, but it's like a lot, like for the nervous system to process that. It's like okay, it's gonna take a little bit of time, but in you showing up, do you feel like that it's different when you get off stage, or do you feel like it just kind of like keeps on?
It's definitely different. Oh yeah, it's different. You mean like am I in my head about it? Is that what you mean? What do you mean?
I think like in terms of like the energy, like those sweaty palms and
That,
like feeling like that rush.
yeah, I mean it after a gig, I will have a hard time like coming down and going to sleep.
Mhm.
If it goes late, I'm like I need a lot of downtime. So yeah, I guess I do. It elevates me and activates me. So I definitely feel up for a few hours after. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I came across the video of you performing with, I think 3 other individuals.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
Oh my gosh. I just like I took a pause and I like allowed myself to just like listen because I had been hearing like, oh, I play music. And then I finally came across this video of yours where you're like singing and just with this like short little clip, I was like, oh, it feels so good to like hear that genuine sound, and it doesn't feel um like a performance. It feels like it's different. I feel like sometimes when you come across artists nowadays, it's very like, oh, for the likes and all this stuff, but it was just like listen to the essence of like who we are together, like creating this sound.
Mhm.
So so incredible.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
You're
Yeah, it's
welcome.
fun to collaborate with different people and different sounds. And that particular one was very, very, yeah, just peaceful and spiritual. And we did it on the summer solstice, I think. And
Mm,
yeah, it was good, good
that's
vibe. Thank
powerful.
you.
That's powerful stuff. So
Mhm.
this came about because they're friends, or how did that like start?
Yeah, they're friends, and I haven't actually been in touch with them for years. We kind of just sort of
Mm.
circle around each other a little bit.
Mhm.
This woman, my friend Charlotte, and her husband Chris, they have had a long time collaboration called Dub Sutra, and it's like, like yoga music, and they've put out tons of albums over like the last 10 years.
Uh,
And yeah, I think she just reached out to me. And then our other friend Eliza, she's in a choir and she loves to sing. The three of us have been getting together once a month for girls' night and just singing, just for fun, just to I don't know, just to harmonize, to get
mm.
better at harmonizing with other people and figuring out the three parts. So that's been fun and expansive, getting me out of my little bubble.
That's awesome. Do you think you'll continue to collaborate like in the future?
Yeah, definitely. Like I'm feeling that really strong. Definitely. I'm about to move and in my own, a new space where I'm going to get to set it
Mm.
up like my sanctuary and my creative space. And I feel like a lot of space is about to open up for me
Yeah.
where I can call in those collaborations because they've, when I have collaborated in the past, it's been very rewarding and yeah, just fun, just a different way of doing things. Helps me get out of my head or just fun connecting with people.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think once you're in it, it'll just naturally flow to you like how it wants to be like born.
Mhm.
I think sometimes for me when I like overthink like the process of what like a painting needs to be, it almost takes it like sucks the life force out of
Mhm.
it. And
Mhm.
so like sometimes just like coming to the canvas and being like, it's just gonna like flow however it wants through the paint and through me. And that's gonna be that. Like, so I feel like that's like coming for you. And I feel it so strongly. And I'm so excited to see that for you. And I hear only good things like in the community about you. So
Mhm.
yes, I really hope that you pursue that and you really just you feel it like just you feel that alignment like within yourself when you put it out there, you know?
Yeah. Well, thank you for the encouragement. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited. I mean, I'm excited. I am on the precipice of a whole new chapter. I really feel that, you
Yeah.
know. So it's big. It's a big time, and I'm so grateful for the support of that. The community that we have, how we know each other. That is
Mhm.
that's been so supportive for me, behind the scenes to help propel me and prepare me for the next chapter.
Yeah, definitely. And I know I'm speaking a lot about like to your future, but also this time of like transition and this death phase. I know that it is so like essential for that growth and that transition. So like I've been through it like several times while I've been in this program as well. So I do honor that as well. And I do see that also, even though it can be such a difficult like time and it can feel so like if it's kind of making us feel small,
Mm.
it has to like burn down in order for us to like rise back up and just be unstoppable. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, I am feeling that deeply. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
The way life goes,
Yeah.
with the death and rebirth process. And this has been a big one because I feel like I got to sit and burn in all of the emotions that I've been trying to avoid for
Mm,
years because what I've recently experienced mirrors what I went through at 11 years old.
mm,
Was being pulled out from underneath me. It was right before school was starting. Like, you know, so many parallels to this situation. It's like, these I deeply believe that, the if I'm not doing if I'm not clearing what needs to be cleared, it will be brought to me to be brought to the surface, to feel it and clear it. And my body's literally been burning for weeks in these feelings that I feel like was under all that armor that I put on.
mm.
And I'm so scared. I don't want to feel this. Like um, And so I'm grateful. I can like sit in gratitude and acceptance for the lessons that I'm learning, even though, you know, my life doing a complete 180 and just not being what I thought it would be, is allowing for like such a deep process of like being present to my emotions and holding myself in that and allowing other people to hold me in that and see me and like support me and love.
Yeah, definitely. That whole like what you were describing, it's just it is very rarely that we come across like people in our lives that are grateful for the discomfort. And
Mhm.
so I think it's so beautiful that you're holding space for that too. But then knowing that it's not like a permanent like resident of your life. Like it is temporarily like, it's visiting, but it's not staying. So Dawn, thank you so much for sharing all these different things. Like just sharing like about your sensuality and your self-expression. And so before we go, like I just want to know, is there some message that you would like to share for maybe someone out there who is young or who is older, who is going through something similar to your death and rebirth, whether it's, as a young child or as a grown woman? Like, is there something that you want to share?
Yeah, I mean, what just came to me was like, let yourself be loved and love yourself. I mean, yeah, there's I don't know. It kind of stumped me. That's like all I can think of right now is yeah, allowing yourself to be held. I feel that we either don't allow ourselves to be held or don't ask to be held or seen for what we're going through. And that I feel to be witnessed in those places where you are raw and tender and vulnerable and you're still loved, whether it's a friend or a parent or just someone to like be there. You don't have to do it alone, like don't like it's not you're not going to think your way out of a problem, just allowing yourself to feel and having the support of someone else.
It's so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your vulnerability and opening up. And I thank you. And I look forward to many more conversations in the future.
Thank
So,
you. Yeah, me too. And I can't wait to get my painting soon.
oh my gosh, yes, it is on its way. In your new space, it'll look beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And that concludes another episode of the Central Canvas podcast. Thank you again to Dawn Mitschele for joining me and opening up about her past, opening up about her future and her present. It's been so moving to have all these conversations with so many different people from all over the world. And if you're interested in connecting with Dawn or you're interested in listening to her music, I'll be sure to link all her information down below in the description. So I want to thank you for listening in, for taking the time to also reflect on your own sensual journeys and experiences, and also be linking my sensual meditation. So, for anyone that's interested in, maybe you're like, how do I even, like, what is sensuality? Like, what do I do? Like, this is the perfect meditation for you to set some time aside, take some space, just settle into the moment. So, I created this meditation for those individuals who are feeling stuck, who are feeling a little bit of overwhelm, and they're just like, where do I start? Like, how do I even go about like finding a sensual meditation? So, I got you. I got you covered. So, down below, I have linked it, and be sure to let me know how it goes. If you've experienced your own sensual awakening from these conversations, or just having more awareness about like, what is sensuality to me? So I'm curious to know. Let's connect. You can find all my information down below. You can click a little like button. You can follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. But ultimately, I want to hear from you. I want to hear what is inspiring you and what is moving you creatively. How are you showing up for your self expression? So, thank you so much, everybody, and I will talk to you again real soon.